The sky above New York turned red that morning. Not the soft red of sunrise, but the angry crimson of burning atmosphere. Commander Jacob Stone stood on the launch pad, watching the alien ships descend through the clouds like metal vultures. "How long do we have?" he asked into his radio. 30 minutes, maybe less," came the response from Mission Control. "They're charging weapons." Jacob looked at the colony ship behind him. The massive vessel called Freedom stood ready for launch, its engines already humming with power. Around the world, 9 other ships just like it were preparing to escape. Each one carried 100,000 people. 1 million humans total. That was all they could save from a planet of 8 billion souls. The Galactic Council had made their decision 3 days ago. Earth was too dangerous, they said. Humans were too aggressive, too unpredictable. The Council feared what humanity might become in 1,000 years. So they chose to end the threat before it could grow. Jacob had watched the broadcast. 12 alien species all voting yes to humanity's extinction. No trial, no appeal, just a unanimous decision to commit genocide. "Begin boarding sequence," Jacob ordered. Around him, the last refugees ran toward the ship, children crying, parents carrying whatever they could, scientists clutching hard drives full of human knowledge, soldiers helping the elderly up the ramps. In the distance, the city began to burn. The alien weapons fired beams of pure energy from orbit. Where they touched, buildings vaporized. The Hudson River boiled away in seconds. Central Park became a crater of molten glass. Jacob's radio crackled with reports from other launch sites. Sydney was gone. Tokyo destroyed. London burning. Moscow silent. "Sir, we need to go now," his co-pilot shouted. Jacob took one last look at Earth, the planet that had birthed humanity, the world that held every memory, every achievement, every dream of his species. Soon it would be nothing but ash and radiation. "All ships, this is Stone," he broadcast to the other colony vessels. "Launch now. Do not wait. Do not look back." The Freedom's engines roared to life. The ship lifted slowly at first, then faster, climbing through smoke and fire. Through the viewports, Jacob watched the world die. The oceans turned to steam. The continents cracked under the bombardment. The atmosphere itself seemed to scream. Other colony ships rose from their launch sites. Jacob counted them. 1 from South America, 2 from Africa, 1 from India, another from China. They climbed toward space, racing against death. The alien fleet didn't try to stop them. Perhaps they thought 1 million refugees weren't worth chasing. Perhaps they believed humans would die anyway, alone in the darkness between stars. Or perhaps they simply didn't care. As Freedom broke through the atmosphere, Jacob activated the long-range communications. He recorded a message, knowing the Council would hear it. "This is Commander Jacob Stone of Earth. You have murdered our world. You have killed our families. You have destroyed our home, but you have not destroyed us. We will survive. We will remember. And one day we will return. This I swear on the ashes of 8 billion human souls." He ended the transmission and looked at his crew. Young faces, old faces, all marked by tears and rage and loss. "Set course for deep space," Jacob ordered. "Take us far from here. We need time to heal. Time to grow. Time to prepare." "Prepare for what, sir?" his co-pilot asked. Jacob watched Earth shrink in the viewports. The blue marble now wrapped in fire. For the day we come home, the 10 colony ships vanished into the void, carrying humanity's last hope into exile. Behind them, Earth burned for 7 days and 7 nights until nothing remained but a dead rock orbiting a yellow star. The Galactic Council updated their records. Humanity extinct. Threat level neutralized. Case closed, but they were wrong. The humans would remember, and 3,000 years later they would return. Captain Ryan Moore walked through the corridors of the Covenant, the largest ship in the human fleet. The vessel was more than a spaceship. It was a city, a nation, a world unto itself. 500,000 people called it home. Ryan had never seen Earth. Neither had his parents or grandparents. He was born in space, as were the last 60 generations of humanity. Earth existed only in old videos and stories passed down through the centuries. But every human child learned what happened. They learned about the day the sky burned. They learned about the Council's crime. "Captain on deck," someone called as Ryan entered the command center. "At ease," Ryan said. He looked at the main screen showing the darkness of space around them. Out here, far beyond the Council's reach, humanity had survived. 10 colony ships had become 50. 50 had become hundreds. Humans built stations on dead moons and hollowed out asteroids. They mined ice from comets and grew food in enormous greenhouse domes, but they never forgot. Ryan's first officer, Commander Ben Carter, approached with a datapad. "Morning report, sir. All systems normal. The supply run to Station 7 was successful. Any signs of Council patrol ships? No, sir. We're still safe out here." Safe. Ryan almost laughed at the word. They weren't safe. They were hiding. There was a difference. 3,000 years had passed since Earth died. In that time, the Galactic Council had forgotten about humanity. They believed their extermination was complete. The Council grew comfortable, lazy even. Their military patrols rarely ventured into deep space. Their guard was down. Meanwhile, humans had been working. In hidden shipyards, they built warships unlike anything the galaxy had seen. They studied every piece of alien technology they could steal or salvage. Human engineers improved on Council designs, making them faster and stronger. Human scientists developed new weapons, new shields, new engines. Ryan walked to the observation deck where a memorial wall displayed billions of names. Every human who died when Earth burned. He found the name he always looked for, Commander Jacob Stone, the man who saved humanity, the man who made the promise. "We will return," Ryan whispered, reading the inscription below Stone's name. A young woman approached, Lieutenant Amy Foster, one of the intelligence officers. She was smart, quick, and had eyes that missed nothing. "Captain, you should see this," Amy said, holding up her tablet. "We intercepted a transmission from a Council mining station." Ryan took the device and read the message. His heart began to pound. "Is this confirmed?" he asked. "Yes, sir. The Council is celebrating their 3,000th year of peace. They're having ceremonies on all major worlds. And, sir, there's more. The message talks about Earth. They call it an ancient victory. Some Council species don't even remember what humanity was." Ryan's jaw tightened. They forgot. The Council committed genocide and then forgot about it like it was nothing. "How strong is their military now?" Ryan asked. "According to our scouts, spread thin. The Council has grown. More species, more territory. They're focused on internal politics, not external threats." Ryan looked back at the memorial wall. 3,000 years of waiting. 3,000 years of preparation. 3,000 years of rage passed down through generations. "Assemble the Council of Survivors," Ryan ordered. "It's time we reminded the galaxy that humans don't forgive." "And we never forget," Amy smiled. It wasn't a kind smile. "Yes, sir." Ryan returned to the command center and opened a channel to all human settlements. Hundreds of ships, stations, and colonies. Millions of voices waiting for orders. "This is Captain Ryan Moore," he broadcast. "Our scouts have confirmed the opportunity we've been waiting for. The Council is weak. They've forgotten us. It's time we go home. It's time we make them remember. Prepare for war." Across human space, engines began to warm. Weapon systems activated. 3,000 years of exile was ending. The long night was over. Humanity was coming back. Lieutenant Amy Foster sat in the intelligence room, surrounded by screens and data streams. For 3 months, she had been monitoring Council communications. Most of it was boring. Trade agreements, mining reports, patrol schedules. But today was different. The signal came from a small mining operation near the border of Council space. Amy almost missed it. Just another routine message about ore shipments and crew rotations. But something made her look closer. "Computer, translate and enhance," Amy commanded. The alien text scrolled across her screen. Her eyes widened as she read. "Oh my God," she whispered. She read it again, making sure she understood correctly. Then she grabbed her tablet and ran from the intelligence room. People jumped out of her way as she sprinted through the corridors. She had to reach Captain Moore immediately. Ryan was in a strategy meeting with the senior officers when Amy burst through the door. "Captain, I need to speak with you. Now." Ryan saw the look on her face. "Everyone out. Amy stays." The other officers left, closing the door behind them. Ryan turned to the young lieutenant. "What did you find?" Amy placed her tablet on the table, her hands shaking slightly. "Sir, I intercepted a message from a Council mining supervisor. He was complaining to his family about anniversary celebrations. The peace anniversary. We know about that?" "Yes, sir. But there's more. He wrote about the history lessons his children are learning in school. About the great threats the Council defeated." Amy paused. "Sir, most Council species don't remember Earth. To them, we're just an old footnote in history books. A minor problem solved thousands of years ago. Ryan felt his anger rise, but Amy wasn't finished. There's something else. The message mentioned Council military strength. They've spread their forces across 60 star systems. Their patrols are predictable. They haven't fought a real war in centuries. Most of their soldiers have never seen combat. Ryan leaned back in his chair, processing this information. They're vulnerable. More than that, sir. They're complacent. They believe they're untouchable. The message talked about how safe and peaceful the galaxy has become. Safe, Ryan repeated bitterly. They built their peace on our graves. Amy pulled up a star map on the large screen. Based on this intelligence, I've identified 3 possible entry points into Council space. These routes are lightly patrolled. We could move a significant force through without being detected. Ryan studied the map. 3,000 years of planning was about to become reality. But was humanity ready? Were they strong enough? What about their technology? Ryan asked. Are we still ahead of them? Our engineers believe so. The Council hasn't needed to innovate. They've had no competitors, no threats. Meanwhile, we've been improving everything we have. Our ships are faster. Our weapons hit harder. Our shields are stronger. Ryan stood and walked to the map. He traced the routes Amy had marked. Each one led to different parts of Council space. Each one represented a path to justice. There's something else you should know, sir, Amy said quietly. The mining supervisor mentioned his grandfather. The old man told stories about the day Earth was destroyed. He said it was necessary, that humans were dangerous, but the supervisor laughed about it. He said those fears were silly, that ancient humans were probably just primitive barbarians. The words hung in the air like poison. They destroyed our world, Ryan said slowly. Killed billions. And now they laugh about it. Yes, sir, Ryan made his decision. Prepare a full report. Include everything you've found. I'm calling an emergency session of the Assembly of Survivors. We need to vote. Vote on what, sir? Ryan met her eyes. On whether we return to Council space. On whether we show them that humans are not extinct. On whether we make them pay for what they did. Amy nodded. What should I tell the Intelligence Division? Tell them to increase monitoring. I want to know everything about Council defenses, ship movements, and political structure. And Amy? Yes, sir? Good work. You may have just changed the course of human history. After Amy left, Ryan stood alone in the strategy room. He looked at the star map showing the vast territories controlled by the Galactic Council. Thousands of worlds, trillions of beings, all living in peace built on humanity's extinction. Soon that peace would end. Ryan thought about Commander Jacob Stone and his final message 3,000 years ago. We will return, we're coming, Ryan said to the empty room. And this time the galaxy will know our name. The Assembly of Survivors met in the Great Hall of the Covenant. Representatives from every human settlement filled the chamber. Some were military officers. Others were scientists, engineers, and civilian leaders. All of them carried the weight of 3,000 years of history. Captain Ryan Moore stood at the center podium, with Amy Foster beside him. On the screens around the hall, the intelligence reports scrolled past. Council military positions, patrol routes, weaknesses in their defenses. 3 days ago, Lieutenant Foster intercepted information that changes everything. Ryan began. The Council has forgotten us. They believe we're extinct. Their forces are spread thin. They haven't prepared for war because they believe war is impossible. An older woman stood up. Dr. Lisa Grant, Chief Medical Officer of the fleet. Even if they're weak, they still outnumber us thousands to one. How can we hope to win? We don't need to conquer them, Ryan replied. We need to make them answer for their crimes. We need justice. Justice or revenge? Asked another voice. Commander Kyle Barnes, head of tactical operations. We need to be clear about what we're doing here. The hall erupted in arguments. Some called for total war. Others urged caution. A few even suggested staying hidden, safe in deep space. Ryan let them argue. These were free people, survivors who had built a civilization from nothing. They deserved to be heard. Finally, Ryan raised his hand for silence. We vote, all in favor of returning to Council space? Hands rose throughout the chamber. Ryan counted them. Nearly unanimous, all opposed. Only a handful of hands appeared. The decision is made, Ryan announced. We prepare for return. Marcus Webb, status on our fleet? Chief Engineer Marcus Webb stepped forward. He was a broad man with oil-stained hands and sharp eyes. We have 200 warships ready, each one built using improved Council technology. We've named them after Earth's lost cities: New York, Tokyo, Paris, Moscow. Each ship carries enough firepower to take on 5 Council vessels. How long until the rest are ready? Ryan asked. 6 months for another 100. We're working around the clock, Dr. Lisa Grant spoke next. Medical division is ready. We've developed treatments for the different types of radiation in Council space. Our people won't get sick from extended exposure. Commander Kyle Barnes activated a holographic display. I've designed a 3-phase operation. Phase 1, we gather intelligence by taking a small mining station. Phase 2, we strike at key military installations to show our strength. Phase 3, we demand the Council answer for Earth's destruction. What if they refuse to negotiate? Someone asked. Kyle's face was grim. Then we move to Phase 4. Full military campaign until they agree to talks. Ryan nodded. Begin preparations immediately. Marcus, I want those ships combat ready in 5 months, not 6. You'll have them, Marcus promised. Lisa, start training medics for combat situations. Kyle, begin selecting targets for Phase 1. The meeting continued for hours. Every detail was planned. Supply lines, communication protocols, escape routes if things went wrong. The humans had learned patience over 3,000 years. Now they would use it. After the meeting, Ryan walked to the shipyard with Marcus. Through the enormous windows, they could see the warships under construction, sleek vessels of dark metal covered in weapons and armor. Do you think we can win? Marcus asked quietly. I think we can survive, Ryan replied. That's all we've ever done. What about after? If we succeed, what then? Ryan watched a welding spark flash in the darkness. Then we go home. We rebuild Earth. We make sure no one ever forgets what happened to us. And if we fail, then at least we tried. At least we stood up and said, you cannot murder an entire species and get away with it. Marcus nodded slowly. My great-grandfather was 5 years old when Earth died. He survived on the Freedom with Commander Stone. Before he passed, he told me never forget. Never forgive. We won't, Ryan promised. Across human space, the preparation began. Factories worked day and night building weapons and ships. Soldiers trained in combat tactics. Scientists developed new technologies. Children were moved to secure locations away from the front lines. In the hidden shipyards, the warship New York prepared for its first test flight. Its captain, a young officer named Chris Adams, stood on the bridge feeling the power of the engines beneath his feet. All systems ready, his engineer reported. Take us out, Chris ordered. The New York launched from the shipyard, its engines burning bright in the darkness. It was beautiful and terrible, a weapon forged from 3,000 years of loss and determination. On the Covenant, Ryan watched the test flight through the observation screens. Soon, hundreds of ships just like it would be ready. Soon humanity would return to the stars they were driven from. For Earth, Ryan whispered. For tomorrow. 5 months later, the human fleet gathered at the edge of Council space. 200 warships hung in the darkness, running silent with their power signatures masked. On the command ship Covenant, Captain Ryan Moore studied the holographic display of their target Kepler station. A massive trading hub where dozens of Council species met to exchange goods and information. Millions of aliens lived and worked there. It was perfect for their message. All ships report ready, Commander Ben Carter announced. Ryan took a deep breath. This was it. 3,000 years of waiting ended now. Ambassador Price, are you prepared? Ryan asked. Helen Price stepped forward. She was a diplomat, trained in every Council language and custom. Her job was to give the aliens one chance to talk before fighting started. I'm ready, Captain, Helen said. She looked nervous but determined. All ships decloak on my mark, Ryan commanded. 3, 2, 1, mark. The human fleet appeared on every sensor in the system. 200 warships, weapons hot, shields raised. On Kepler station, alarms began screaming. Ryan opened a communication channel to the station. This is Captain Ryan Moore of the human fleet. We request permission to speak with Council representatives. Silence. Then chaos erupted on the other end. Ryan heard shouting in multiple alien languages. Panic, disbelief, fear. Finally, a voice responded. It belonged to Avrax, one of the reptilian species that had voted to destroy Earth. This is impossible. Humans are extinct. Clearly we're not, Helen said calmly. We're here to discuss what happened 3,000 years ago when the Galactic Council destroyed our homeworld. You have no authority here, the Vrax snarled. Leave immediately or be destroyed. Ryan felt his anger rise but kept his voice steady. We're not leaving until you answer for your crimes. On the tactical display, Ryan watched Council ships scrambling to respond. Dozens of patrol vessels converging on Kepler Station. They were older models, poorly maintained. The Council had grown lazy in peacetime. Captain, they're targeting us, Kyle Barnes reported from the weapons station. Shields up. Do not fire unless fired upon, Ryan ordered. A Council battlecruiser twice the size of any human ship moved into position. Its captain broadcast a message. Unknown vessels, power down your weapons or we will open fire. They don't recognize us, Amy Foster said from her station. After 3,000 years, they've forgotten what human ships look like. Helen tried again. We are humans. Descendants of Earth, we survived your genocide. We're here to demand justice. The Council captain hesitated. Ryan could imagine the confusion on the alien bridge. Humans were supposed to be dead. This didn't make sense. Then weapons fired, not from the human fleet but from the Council battlecruiser. Energy beams struck the Covenant's shields, causing them to flare bright blue. They shot first, Kyle said. Ryan's expression hardened. Return fire. Disable that ship. The warship New York moved forward, its weapon systems activating. Where Council ships used plasma cannons, human ships carried railguns that fired solid projectiles at incredible speeds. The technology was simple but devastatingly effective. The New York's railguns fired. The projectiles tore through the Council battlecruiser's shields like paper. The enemy ship's weapon systems exploded. Its engines went dark. Within seconds, it was drifting helplessly. Every other Council ship in the system stopped moving. This is Captain Ryan Moore. Ryan broadcast on all channels. We don't want to kill anyone. We want to talk. But if you force us to fight, you'll lose. Stand down. On Kepler Station, the alien commanders watched their most powerful warship disabled in under a minute. Fear replaced anger. These humans had technology beyond anything the Council had seen. A new voice came over the communication channel. Female, speaking with authority. This is Council Administrator Vera of the Lumen species. Please hold your fire. We'll listen. Ryan nodded to Helen. The ambassador stepped forward to address the station. 3,000 years ago, the Galactic Council voted to exterminate humanity. You destroyed our world. You killed 8 billion people. We were not a threat. We were simply different, growing too fast for your comfort. 1 million of us survived. We've lived in exile, remembering what you did. We don't seek conquest. We seek acknowledgement. Admission of guilt, justice. The Lumen administrator was silent for a long moment. I will contact the Council leadership. Please, no more violence. We'll wait, Ryan said. But not forever. The human fleet held position around Kepler Station. News of their arrival spread through Council space like wildfire. On 1,000 worlds, aliens who had never heard of humanity suddenly learned they still existed. More importantly, they learned humans had become powerful enough to challenge the Council itself. In the Covenant's conference room, Ryan met with his officers. They're scared, Amy reported. Intercepted communications show panic at the highest levels. They never expected this. Good, Commander Kyle Barnes said. Fear will make them negotiate, or it will make them desperate, Lisa Grant warned. Desperate people do dangerous things. Ryan looked at the stars through the viewport. Somewhere out there, Earth waited, a dead world that deserved to be remembered. We stay on guard, Ryan decided. We show strength but offer peace. We give them one chance to do the right thing. And if they refuse? Ben Carter asked. Ryan's eyes were cold. Then we remind them why they feared humans in the first place.